Welcome back, Patriots, to the Ball Brad Show. Heck, it is Friday, July 19th, and as always, Joe Biden is still by far the worst president in American history. Patriots, I see in the live chat, we were together less than 12 hours ago, spending time as people that love this country, as patriots, watching, hopefully, Mr. 47 come into office. Of course, he's 45, but we're hoping he is 47 with a phenomenal speech. The dude was up there for a long time, and it just had these libs pulling their hair out. They were freaking out because Donald Trump could stand up there longer than Joe Biden could, and they just couldn't handle it, folks. They were already out there chauffeuring around the floor saying, oh, people were falling asleep. Everyone was tired and it was so long. They just can't sit there and praise the guy for his age and everything he's been through, for going out there each and every night the past 4 days and then ending it off with a banger of a speech, truly in Trump form and patriotic form. They just can't sit there and pat the guy on the back. God forbid they actually do that. But Patriots, it's great being back with you on this fine Friday morning. Rounding out the week as we always do with the major headlines and kind of throwing in the bucket a little bit of what we didn't cover throughout the week as well. It kind of gives us an opportunity to really look at the news from a holistic viewpoint and kind of figure out, well, what the hell's really going on here? And I'll tell you this, I don't know. And it's not just me. Again, we got kind of our inside sources. We can't always name names, but there's some people that they don't even know what's going on. They're getting this report from this person, let's say like the DNC, and then they get this report from the campaign, the Biden campaign, and then they get this report from the Obama people, and they're all saying different things. And they're like, well, this is a really credible source, but so's this one. But so's this one. So, folks, there is chaos ensuing behind the scenes. I see y'all in the chat right now. I see Dapple. I see America. Pat's here. Devin's here. Jason, Jennifer, Secret Agent, Autumn. Who else we got in here? I'm keep scrolling. Neil's here. Neil always has our 6. Karen, Jennifer. Whose birthday is it? Somebody's birthday. My son is 30 today. Happy birthday, Jordan. Jordan, happy birthday. Coming from the Ball Brad Show. We got a lot of people over at Rumble. We got to check the boys and gals at Rumble. We got Sunset. And the chat is so tiny. Miriam's here. Miriam's always joining us. Miriam's a long-time supporter of the Ball Brad Show. Let me see if I can pull up the actual thing here. 1 second, folks. Sorry. Super unprofessional of me. I apologize. Fran, good to see you. RD, Fran, nice. Karina's here. Peach is here. Who else we got? I got to call out everybody. I'm sorry. Kira's here. Everybody's here. Jeremy. All right, we got the crew here. Dizzy and Deaf. Yeah. All right. Well, if you guys didn't hear this morning, there was a freaking global technology outage. Like, I kind of got worried for a second because I'm sitting there just trying to wake up, right? Scrolling with like a dead eye. Like I look like Joe Biden trying to figure out what the hell's going on. Just, like, what's happening? Well, this impacted everybody. So now let me just be aware before you start shitting your pants like Joe Biden. Allegedly, they did fix it. Okay, so it's been figured out. But a major cyber outage has grounded flights and disrupted businesses and organizations throughout the world. Okay, this is not a small thing. The technology glitch, that's what they're calling it, caused chaos on Friday morning, with Delta Airlines, American Airlines, United Airlines issuing statements saying that their flight operations had been impacted. Folks, emergency response systems were down at police agencies, healthcare providers in Phoenix. If you would have woke up to this, you would think the world's ending. It's over. We're finished. We're cooked. We're done. Banks and financial service firms in Australia to India and Germany weren't customers of disruptions. You ain't getting your money today, suckers. In Britain, booking institutions used by doctors were offline. I mean, dude, this is such a shitstorm. I mean, if you wanted to see something that totally like symbolizes the Biden administration, this is it. Just a cluster bleep. So we got this video clip here for y'all that's kind of talking about what the hell took place.
Who are just waking up, a Fox News alert right now, a major tech outage forcing airlines to issue a global stop on all flights. Outages are also being reported at hospitals, banks, and 911 centers. It is apparently tied to the communication systems at Microsoft and CrowdStrike. And minutes ago, CrowdStrike's president, CEO, updating, quote, CrowdStrike is actively working with customers impacted by a defect found in a single content update for Windows hosts. This is not a security incident or cyber attack. The issue has been identified, isolated, and a fix has been deployed. All right, the fix has been deployed. To figure it all out, Kurt, the cyber guy, joins us right now. So, Kurt, they were trying to update their software and everything got screwed up, right?
Yeah, faulty software update from one single firm, this
Wow.
CrowdStrike. They can do this global disruption. First reported at 1:20 a.m. Eastern, saying that they have widespread reports of the blue screen of death on Windows computers around the world. We're waking up to huge disruption, Steve.
Busy.
Airlines such as American, United, and Delta all having disruptions, can't check people in. They're issuing manual boarding passes in some cases. The FAA saying that they are assisting with this at this moment. Expect delays if you're traveling today.
Right.
And I would use your phone to access that. Of course, not a PC at this moment. Windows computers tied to these organizations that use CrowdStrike are causing this. And it is a
Nick,
crippling thing happening. Supermarkets, banks, telecommunications companies. We go to Down Detector, a website that monitors when companies go down or services go down. This is like a Christmas tree. Microsoft, TD Bank, MGM, Visa, AT&T, Xbox, Amazon, ADT Security, Microsoft Teams, Spectrum. I could go on and on and on. This is a massive disruption globally, from Australia to the UK, Europe.
I mean, you really see kind of even how vulnerable we are, right? And how kind of these big corporations run through many other corporations. They run through our infrastructure. And it goes to show you guys that you don't have to be a savant, right? If a third country, like say China, Russia, or something that wanted to do something, very easily could disrupt our systems. And everybody's going to be like, oh, and I mean, not everyone's going to be like, they are being like, well, they got an update out. It's fine. It's fixed. Not a big deal. Like, well, it kind of is a big deal if you have one major company that has this much access to all these other companies that are using their software or whatever it may be. It kind of does pose a problem that we're all running through one corporation, kind of. I mean, I understand there's Apple and all these other things, but you understand what I mean in terms of the vulnerability. It's very similar to kind of our electric grid, where our electric grid is just garbage. You know, we're sitting here in 2024 and we still have our power lines out there in the open, not underground where probably they should be, and a lot safer. But that's where we're at, and kind of a scary morning for a lot of people, not knowing what's going on. Nobody knew exactly what was taking place for a good while. And luckily, I'm on the West Coast, so I'm just waking up going, oh, God, the world's on fire. Oh, wait, they fixed it. We're good. So that's me. I'm looking at the chat. I see y'all in there. God, we got such a great community. As you see, Dizzy and Def already almost killed me, having me spit out my coffee. I appreciate that, though, brother. That was a good laugh. All right, well, folks, remember how for like the last 8 years, we've been told that we were conspiracy theorists, you know, like we just make stuff up, and then, lo and behold, the stuff that we were allegedly conspiracy theorists about just were true. Like we were just right. COVID-19, the Afghanistan stuff, like whatever it was, right? Well, check this out. It's an alarming statistic. 1/3 of Democrats believe the attempted assassination of former President Donald Trump at a Butler, Pennsylvania rally last Saturday was staged. 33%. That is insane. The Morning Consult poll found that 34% surveyed Democrat voters thought it was either definitely or probably credible that Trump staged the shooting. Only 45% found that theory implausible. Dude, you got to be far out there. I mean, it really does go to show you that the Republican Party and conservatives are predominantly the ones that just have their head on straight. We say it time and time again here. I know I'm preaching to the choir right now, but we're not the party that likes crime. We're not the party that wants to allow an invasion to happen to our country. We're not the party that wants to give billions of dollars to terrorists. We're not any of those things. And by the way, we're sure in hell not the party that think the president faked his own assassination. You know, I'm not saying there aren't conspiracy theorists within our party. There are, but at least our theories are backed up by some sort of evidence. This is a whole nother level where, by the way, we might as well just play it. I don't know if I'll get flagged, but who gives a damn, right? It's freaking YouTube. YouTube, by the way, took down our video last night. I don't know if you guys saw. Let me pause for a second. You are not going to find that live stream that we did yesterday for 6 hours on YouTube, okay? It's down. They took it down. Yeah. So that's what we deal with here. So yesterday, what I did was I posted this video. This is all fake, you guys. Remember, this is not real. Can I make it bigger? That's what she said. Here's the actual slow motion of the bullet going through Donald Trump's ear. 34% of Democrats are saying, fake, it's Hollywood.
You see something that said, take a look what happened. Take a look what happened.
Checa até aí.
Boom. But don't worry, you guys. It's all cheap fakes, deep fakes. I made that up. So what I did was I downloaded some software. I couldn't tell you the name of it. And I popped it in there and kind of figured out how to warp Donald Trump's ear and put in the sound effects and all those other things. Yeah, so it's all staged. It's all Hollywood. Folks, this is wild stuff. And again, it just goes to show you, try to like basically figure out who you want to have conversations with, because most likely you're talking to a psycho. Dizzy said it. There you go. Took the words right out of my damn mouth. We live among psychos. Sorry, it's a little psychotic that you think that this dude staged an assassination attempt when other people were shot or either killed. But that's what we live with. So more than one prominent leftist has entertained suspicions that the shooting was staged or that Trump's injury was not caused by a bullet. Alrighty then. Hoffman has given $7 million to the Biden-aligned super PAC and $6 million to an anti-Trump Republican accountability PAC so far this election cycle. So I wanted to bring that up because that was a wild statistic. 34% of Democrats think that it was staged. I mean, dude, mind you, you know what's actually, now that I mention it, you know what's interesting? That 34%? That 34% number is also the amount of people that actually still think Joe Biden's doing well and are willing to support Joe Biden next election. It's actually literally 34%, which is an odd number, that they kind of go side to side. Now, I'm just saying there's a correlation. I'm not saying cause and effect. I'm not saying that they're the same people, but there seems to be a theme here that the same people that think that Joe Biden is fit. We looked at the poll yesterday, that Joe Biden's sharp, that Joe Biden has everything together, that we all saw yesterday. Those same people are the same people that are saying that this whole thing was staged. So there's a large portion of the Democrat Party, man, that is just gone. See you later. Like hasn't sat there and lived outside of a rock in years. Really, really wild stuff. I'm not on the Rumble either. Were we just taken down everywhere? Is that what's going on? Trying to read what you guys are chatting. All right. Well, yeah, you're not going to find the live stream. I'm trying to figure it out. We'll try to get it back up. It's probably going to take a day or two, but it will be there. I just have to do some work on my end. All right. Well, check this out. I told you I'd keep you up to date. If we could do a story on illegal immigration every day, which, you know, to be quite frank, is pretty easy. We are going to do it, and that's what we have here for you. So previously deported illegal immigrant has been charged in Florida with sexually assaulting a 14-year-old girl. Remember, this is Joe Biden's America. This is what Joe Biden wants. Joe Biden is allowing this to happen. And in all literal sense. It's not my opinion. It is just fact. He is allowing this to happen. The reason why I say the word allow is he already has laws on the books. He has executive authority to stop this massive invasion from taking place, and he doesn't want to. And we said many years ago, we think that this is going to be a long-term plan to get votes. Lo and behold, well, it kind of is leaning that direction, right? Because they won't sit there and implement the SAVE Act. Democrats voted resoundingly against it because these illegal immigrants can register to vote. We together as a community, we were all here. We went through the California registration. We looked at the Texas registration. And then some people like Sunset even emailed me the Arizona registration. And some of you looked in your own states as well and emailed me the fact that you don't even have to prove that you're a citizen of this country to register to vote. And by the way, the objective here for the Democrat Party isn't the idea that they're going to send those illegal immigrants the ballots. Those ballots are allegedly going to go to some sort of DNC or some sort of third party that's going to fill out the ballot on behalf of that illegal immigrant and then ultimately dump those ballots into a box. That's why I think we need people out there to safeguard those ballot boxes and making sure that there's only one person putting in one ballot. Because we know in 2020, through a poll, that there was about 21% of people that fraudulently voted on behalf of somebody else. And that was just voting on behalf of somebody else. That isn't actually taking a ballot and, signing it off on somebody or whatever. So that was a wild survey as well. But this whole objective here is not just to get votes, but it's also to get amnesty. As you recall, about a month or two ago, might have been longer, time flies, Biden just came out and was like, I want everybody under my administration and prior who came into the country illegally to receive citizenship. So at least he was clear about it. You got to give the guy when he's coherent sometimes. I'm not saying I agree with it. What I'm saying was he was just coherent and very clear on what he wanted to do. Very similar on how he says assault weapons a lot, but then he clears it up later on and says that he just wants to remove your semi-automatic firearms, which is just every firearm in America. Well, this psycho here, 20, probably a Democrat, was arrested on Wednesday by the, was that Okaloosa? What is that? Okaloosa? How do you say that? Morning. County Sheriff's Office from sexual assault and burglary with just tack it on, right? Sexual assault, burglary, rape, assaulted her, like Jesus. According to police, this guy broke into the 14-year-old victim's home and then assaulted her, sexually assaulted her. You guys, they just want a better life. What do you mean? I'm reading the chat. No. You guys understand, please, no. Democrats say they're just here for a better life. This guy came, I'm sure he has a family. He just came here to get some work. He fled persecution. No. He fled global warming. Kamala Harris told us that, the person that might be running for the Democrat Party ticket. Yeah, no. You stop it, you guys. You can't be judging this person. No, Democrats love this stuff. Understand that. We were told by Democrats, open borders. Have these people flow on in. Free range. Go after your 14-year-old children. Not a big deal. Nope. You guys can't say anything bad about these people. This guy's not an animal, according to the Democrat Party. No, this guy's a saint. He's just trying to make it, just like the rest of us. It seems like I'm being facetious, but you guys, this is really what Democrats are saying, which is wild. I'm not saying every single Democrat. That'd be silly. David Prince, thank you so much for the $5. You guys are keeping the lights on here. If Kamala says her stupid phrase, unburdened by what has been in a debate, her opponent should translate, that means they'll ignore history and reality and push a dangerous make-believe agenda. Damn, sir, you are right. And that is a well worth $5 right there. Damn. Yes, sir, that is correct. The unburden on what has been. Oh, that woman. So I wanted to bring this up to you guys that, he was arrested and now he's going to sit there and be in jail, get 3 meals a day, get laundry services, get his probably massage in because these Democrats want to sit there and revamp our prisons and our jails because it's too terrible. You also have this updates regarding the assassination attempt. Again, a lot of just random news, folks. There's no real theme other than Barack Obama staging a second coup in the White House, which we'll get to in a couple articles here. If you haven't already, hit that like button for us. It really does support the show. And it's always great to see you Patriots in the chat hanging out with all of us. So whistleblowers, and I'll kind of interweave some other news that I know about that I don't present just because that we're hearing behind the scenes from like Dan Bongino and others. Whistleblowers told White House lawmakers that the Secret Service knew it had limited resources to protect former President Donald Trump in days leading up to the rally in Pennsylvania where he was nearly assassinated. So in a letter to FBI Director for Christopher Wray and Jim Jordan said that whistleblowers had come forward saying that the Secret Service knew it was short-staffed ahead of the rally because of the NATO event and the Biden campaign event in Pittsburgh with First Lady Jill Biden. See, Jill Biden is more important than a former incoming president. Now, that's more important that we protect her than Donald Trump. Folks, I would go out of my way to say that Donald Trump was and is more of a target and probably has more people going after him than Joe Biden and Jill Biden combined. Now, I don't have any proof of that, but based on logic and reason, I think that's something that a lot of people can get behind, that Donald Trump was a massive target, probably alarm bells going off for years, and they're going to sit there and deviate people away from him and go to Jill because Jill's more important. Jill doesn't run the country. Jill's not the incoming possible president. She's not the one that's representing an entire party. She's somebody I got to be careful. We're on YouTube. I was about to say something very mean. Whistleblowers have disclosed to the committee that the United States Secret Service led 2 briefings regarding the July 13th campaign rally on July 8th. Folks, one of these briefings with the Senate, they were only able to ask 4 questions in this briefing. There was a senator, and I don't know if it's listed here. It's not. There's a senator that said in his 13 years in the Senate, he has never seen a briefing like that where they were only allowed to ask 4 questions. Of the 4, Democrats got 3 of the questions. It was a joke of a phone call. They said it was a joke of a phone call. It was even said to be stated as cover your ass type of meeting. And we still don't know anything. There's reports coming out that the Biden administration is telling the Secret Service director to be tight-lipped. That's mostly coming from DHS Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas is telling her to shut her mouth. Folks, when you see that, there's a major cover-up going on. When you are sitting there telling somebody to not talk to Congress, which is responsible for getting answers out to the American people, that are the representatives that were elected on behalf of the American people, you're basically giving the middle finger to the American people. And that smells like doo-doo. And when there's doo-doo, there's usually a big pile standing somewhere. And you know what? They stepped in it. And hopefully we get to the bottom line. Hopefully figure out what's going on. It's also alleged, we said this during the live stream if you weren't here, that the shooter did not bring a ladder with him. Now, where that ladder came from that we all saw in those pictures, I don't know. I'm just bringing what we're told from the Secret Service with boots on the ground that told Dan Bongino. We're also told that the guy, the assassin with the rangefinder, it wasn't like he went through a detector with that rangefinder. Allegedly, he was just spotted with one, and that created kind of an indication of, hey, this person is suspicious. They lost track of him, but also it's not like they could boot him out for having a rangefinder either. It wasn't part of the list of items that you weren't allowed to have in a rally, which is kind of weird because you only use a rangefinder for hunting, shooting, golfing, things like that. Folks, they're not on a golf course. Nobody's hunting deer around there. You know, you got to kind of put 2 and 2 together. But when you have these DEI hires like we saw, well, you're not hiring based on IQ and intelligence or really physique. You're not actually hiring on anything other than diversity, equity, and inclusion. Are you gay? Are you a lesbian? Are you female? Are you a trans? Like, that's what they're hiring on, those qualifications, not if you can do the job. Well, how do we know that? We all saw the video, right, of the lady that couldn't even holster her firearm. She's so doped up, not on drugs, just from, adrenaline going up, that she's like, trying to figure out what the fuck. By the way, she's massively out of shape. Nobody's commenting on that. That woman was massively out of shape. Okay. Beside the whole idea of not holstering her weapon, lady, okay, you're supposed to protect the president. You ain't in shape to do it. Okay. But that has nothing to do with her being a woman, just not in shape. I don't want you out there protecting my ass. Can you imagine her? Let's just replace her. And in a building that's on fire, right? You're a firefighter. You're supposed to be able to throw some heavy shit over your shoulder and in shape so you can go up, 100 flight of stairs like we saw in 9/11 and, carry out your duties. Folks, she couldn't holster her firearm. She's like, fucking hey, I don't know what I'm doing. Shit. What are we doing? What are we doing? Where's the car? Bitch, you on the car. Oh, shit. By the way, when she got to the hospital, she was doing the same thing. So let me see if I can find it. Oh my God. I know I'm on a tangent, but you guys said you enjoy them. We're going to find it here. Trump Hospital. Let's see. I got the same dude, the same lady got out of the car at the hospital and was still like going like this. She didn't know what to do with her hands. So yeah, here it is. Here it is. Oh man, we get this stuff quick for you guys. All right. So Trump is showing up to the hospital right now. Okay. You're going to see the lady, the same lady that couldn't holster her firearm. You're going to see her get out of the car. I just want you to watch her demeanor. Still has that time to process this shit because they had to drive, from the event to the hospital. Still can't figure it out.
Somebody get that door open and back in with the for the back door. Okay, coming up with the emergency door. You know you are.
Who was that?
Oh, she don't know what to do. Look at. There she goes. She wraps around. Watch. She'll come back. She'll come back. Look at the guys. They're all calm. Look at her. Rubbing her hands. Look at the guns like this.
Oh yeah, we're front row, and my friend saw blood coming out of his head.
Look at, oh.
There he is. There he is.
Well, she holstered it that time, huh? At least she got one in. Holy Lord, that's not the people you want covering. So, quite frankly, we really don't know. But what we do know is somebody's lying. We know we know for sure based on Dan Bongino and his sources. Remember, his sources are primary. What I mean by that is the people that are talking to him behind the scenes, he's either worked with and worked with and were the people there. Like these were the Secret Service guys there. She looks like aggroed NPC. Freaking yeah. But so these guys that are giving him the information, he's pleading with them saying, hey, you guys need to be whistleblowers. You need to come out and tell everybody that she's lying, the Secret Service director. You need to come out and say what's going on with DHS director Alejandro Mayorkas, who we know is a chronic liar. Alejandro Mayorkas has lied through his teeth for a long time. I've been saying that guy's a treason. He's committing treason, in my opinion. That is my opinion, that he should sit there and be removed from his position, but they're not going to do it. Isn't it astonishing that you just almost had a former president be killed and assassinated and nobody's been fired? Anybody, we have so many people here, and I'm not just doing this because you guys are independents, conservatives, Republicans. Can anybody in the chat, we have over 100, well over 100 people in here. Can anybody name a single person that Joe Biden's fired from this disastrous administration? A single person. I'm not asking for over one. Just who has Joe Biden fired for any of the debacles? Afghanistan, the border, Donald Trump almost being assassinated. Who has been fired? I will be on the lookout, but I don't know a single person. And and I've looked. Exactly. Democrats don't fire, they promote. You're exactly damn right. Took the words right out of my mouth, David. Right out of my mouth. Well, we wanted to give you updates on that student loan debt forgiveness program as well. So if you recall, Joe Biden wanted to sit there and pay off people's student loan debt. You are now a co-signer to everybody's loan. There's many problems with this ideology, not just the fact that you're canceling somebody's debt of which they don't deserve whatsoever, but also the fact of when you open that door, where does that debt loan forgiveness stop? Because there's a lot of people with student loans, right? But there's also a lot of people that never took out student loans that are having to pay for those that did take out student loans. I don't think that's right. But why are we stopping at student loan debt forgiveness if you want to relieve burden and give Americans more breathing room, which was what was echoed by Karine Jean-Pierre, correct? Karine Jean-Pierre said that the whole purpose of Joe Biden doing this was to give Americans breathing room. Well, why wouldn't you start relieving mortgage rates or their mortgages? Why would you not start going after people's, I don't know, auto loans? There's a lot of people with auto loans. Or let's go a step further. Why aren't you relieving people's credit card debt? Why are we stopping at student loan debt? That's the weird thing, right? But when you open up that doorway for Democrats, that doorway now opens up to a spider web of other debt that could be relieved. And so what did he do? He sat there and implemented it. Well, Supreme Court came out and said, hey, you know what? You can't do this. That's an overreach of the executive branch. Almost an exact quote on what they said. Joe Biden gave them the double middle finger and did it anyways. But don't worry. He comes out in his speeches, goes, oh, I respect the rule of law. I'm a law guy. You know, I actually taught the law. He never did, by the way. I taught a lot at UPenn. I was a professor. He wasn't. So we have an update here on the student loan bonanza. Federal appeals court on Thursday temporarily shut down President Joe Biden's nearly $500 billion. You heard that correctly. Hey, we don't have the money to build a border wall. Remember that? Y'all remember that? Yeah. we don't have the money for this or that, but hey, here's a half $1 trillion. Holy God, I had to take a sip, guys. To cancel or lower student debt, transferring its taxpayers. Yeah, you know, folks, Motorlight Nick's my friend. Nick didn't go to college. Nick, how do you feel about, and by the way, Nick, that doesn't mean Nick is killing it right now in life, let me tell you. Nick, by the way, you're buying drinks next time. Nick, how do you feel about paying off other people's college? You didn't go to college. How do you feel about that? I mean, mind you, I went to college and I just don't still feel good about paying other people's debts. I didn't co-sign for that shit. Nick, let us know. Nick's a blue-collar worker, baby. One of the toughest SOBs I know. So the 8th Circuit Court of Appeals on Thursday paused Biden's saving on a valuable education. Folks, some of these people, I know there's people in our chat that love music, okay? My wife loves music. Amazing singer, plays music, loves music. Music is great. Music is important. Please understand the purpose of what I'm about to try to say here. You taking out $250,000 for a music degree is not saving on a valuable education. I'm going to repeat this. There's a difference between being a mathematician, an accountant, a lawyer, versus basket weaving, art, theater, and music. There's a big difference between business majors and liberal arts majors. And by the way, I'm both. I have a business degree in accounting. My degree is actually a bachelor's of science in accountancy. And then I also have a degree in teaching, okay, a master's of arts in teaching, which was nothing, okay? I was the top 5% of my graduating class because I went from an accounting to a liberal arts degree. Liberal arts is easy. What I'm saying is it's not a valuable education. You took $250,000 out for a music major, and you're blown away that you can't pay it off. But we're paying it off. That person that had $250,000, I bring that up because Joe Biden relieved their loan. Meaning you guys did. You paid that off. Hope you're happy. No, they're making a great dent in our society here. No, they cured cancer, you guys. Yeah, that guy that's a music major, no, he's going to make a big dent in our culture here. Big dent. Yep, really going to help us out. So this comes from Missouri Attorney General Andrew Bailey. And petitioners asked the court to enter an immediate administrative stay on defendants' actions to prevent millions of dollars in irreparable harm. Half a $1 trillion, man, dude. But remember, you guys, we're sitting in. It's just really, dude, it riles me up. We send $60 billion most recently to Ukraine, okay, for their war. We send billions of dollars to Israel. We send $10 billion to the Iranian. We're sending 10 billion. I don't know if it's 10 billion at this point. I mean, if you include the military grade equipment, it's definitely in the tens of billions of dollars to the Taliban. We're paying actual enemies to commit harm against us as well as our allies and our merchant vessels. But if you recall, Donald Trump fought against Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer to get $3 billion. You actually heard him talk about it in his speech. It was, you know, all the money going to the military. He goes, well, I might as well build a border wall since they're having an invasion at the border. You know, he fought for $3 billion and they said we didn't have it. Oh, yeah, we don't have $3 billion, but the Democrats are willing to give, you know, $500 billion. I almost said million. I mean, 500 billion is just wild. 60 billion here, just throw out money left and right. You guys, we could have built a border wall over and over. I mean, you could build a wall going around the globe for that money. Nick says he went through a 5-year apprentice in trade, and I'm paying for people's sociology degree in woke California when they work at McDonald's because the degree is worthless. Pretty frustrating. But you said it correctly, sir. Yes, you damn well did. That is well said and 100% correct. Jennifer, thank you so much for the $9.99. Jennifer coming out with the damn. Thank you so much. Jennifer's been a long-time supporter of the Bald Brad Show. Greatly appreciate you, Jen. Greatly appreciate you. Also, folks, I do want to highlight, thank you so much. Some of you sent me emails last night after the live stream, thanking me for doing the live stream. Folks, no, thank you for just being there. think some of you stuck it out the entire 6 hours. Like it was an amazing stream, and I couldn't have been more thankful to again hang out with all you fine patriots. And again, thank you for the $9.99. That's really kind of you, Jennifer. Okay, moving into other news. This is where we get into a little bit of the actual news of the podcast, which is the second White House coup in 4 months. Now, you might be asking, well, what was the first one? We'll get to it in just one moment, folks, but we have to sit there and spotlight one of our favorite sponsors here. Let's go ahead and take a swig of it right now. It's time to say goodbye to Starbucks. I call it $5 because, well, I mean, it's basically $5 for a cup of coffee now. And say hello to Rumble 1775 coffee, baby. Unlike other brands, this coffee backs free speech, and that's why they're here on the show, and it's unapologetic about it. And 1775coffee.com, you can go there to use promo code STUDIO to get 15% off. Sometimes they give us the 40% off. Today, they're giving us the 15. This coffee comes in medium and dark roast. Folks, it's like a Kona coffee. I go dark roast. The medium stuff is too girly for me. If you're a guy out there and you do medium, you got to question yourself. Of course, I'm being silly. Medium and dark roast. In other words, this stuff is freaking premium, man. I'm telling you what, it's going to wet your whistle and wake you up in the morning, which we all need. Click on the link in the live chat or the description. You can also go just directly to 1775coffee.com and use promo code STUDIO and get that 15% off today. We always love those deals. Some of you might be waiting for that 40% off. I don't know if it's coming back again, but if it does, we'll make sure that we give you that live read. 1775coffee.com. Again, wet your whistle in one of the Bald Brad Show mugs. BaldBradStore.com, folks. You can go over there. A lot of you bought up those mugs yesterday so we could drink together. All right. So actually, before I go to this, I got to explain this. Okay. Again, we got to answer, well, where's the first coup happen and how is this the second one? Well, story time. We all know Karine Jean-Pierre, okay, the Muppet head. And then we also know John Kirby, the other knucklehead. Well, they're having a toughie in the White House, okay? They're rubbing heads a little bit. And Karine Jean-Pierre's not getting FaceTime with this knucklehead here, the President of the United States, Joe Biden. So she's not getting FaceTime, but John Kirby is. And she's getting frustrated because John Kirby is splitting the time on the podium with her, and she wants all the spotlight. Again, what I'm about to detail out right now, none of this is my words. I'm just relaying the story that was given in reports. So she's not getting time. She's having to split the podium. She doesn't like that. She's power hungry, which is why she points for people for John Kirby. John Kirby's more than capable as an admiral to pick and choose who he wants to talk to. She won't let him do it. So she's terrible at her job, which we are all aware of, and we sit through her damn White House press briefings, that she's anywhere from 30 minutes to almost 2 hours late every single press briefing. Well, she's not answering questions. She's terrible at her job. She uses a binder that doesn't answer anybody's questions. She only answers what she wants to answer, if we ever get that. And so the White House was trying to remove her. That was the first coup, and we reported on it about 2 months ago. The White House tried to stage a coup on removing Karine Jean-Pierre from the White House. And you might be asking, well, why did they sit there and strategize on how to do this? Why didn't Joe Biden just fire her? Well, because she's a DEI hire. She's a black lesbian. This is not me making fun of a lesbian or somebody that's black. It's just that's what she is. She is literally a DEI hire that is a black lesbian. And based on the Democrat Party, you can't sit there and oust somebody like that because you will be deemed a homophobe and also racist. And Joe Biden was also deemed a racist by Kamala Harris during the campaign trail in 2020. So it doesn't look good. They can't get rid of her. They pigeonholed themselves in this whole thing. So that was the first coup. The second coup, and this is where my sources, we don't know who's telling the truth right now, is that allegedly Barack Obama is pulling the strings right now behind the scenes in conjunction with Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer and others to sit there and have Joe Biden remove himself from the re-election campaign, put forward Kamala Harris, utilizing the prior Obama campaign team to sit there and strategize and move her forward as potentially the next nominee. I say potentially because they would have to actually run another convention and put her up against 2 to 3 or more other opponents and kind of basically hash all this out in the next 6 weeks, which is insane. Danny from Australia, good to have you, brother. Australians are our allies. So that brings us here to present time. Biden's campaign is saying he's not dropping out still. They're dead set. That's what they're saying. He's not dropping out. He's not going to do it. We heard that Nancy Pelosi had a meeting with Biden himself and that Biden said, only way I'm going to drop out is if you could show me the polls that prove that I would lose against Donald Trump. So in that meeting, she showed him the polls. He didn't believe her. And so Nancy Pelosi had to get somebody else in there to show him multiple polls that they ran behind the scenes showing that he can't win against Donald Trump, but Kamala Harris can. And allegedly, that's kind of what opened him up to the idea that, hey, maybe it's not in the cards for him to continue to run. Furthermore, it was also stated that, hey, you know what? If a doctor diagnoses me with a medical condition, then I would drop out of the race. And so when you take all these variables into consideration, it leads to the idea that not only is he going to drop out, and rumors are that he's dropping out Sunday, by the way, or over the weekend, but also that they're going to lead it to be attributed to a medical condition, and he's dropping out of the race because of the polls. So all these kind of work in unison to lead us to believe that. Now, that brings us to the article and where we're at present time. Hopefully I was clear. I don't know if I was, but let me know in the chat if that made sense. The Biden campaign is pushing back on reports that the president is considering dropping out of the race. Recent meetings with prominent Democrats and Biden have leaked to the press, namely that senior members of Congress, and this is where Biden was having trouble because he had their back, at least publicly, not so much so now. On Thursday, Biden campaign senior advisor attempted to dispel any remaining doubt that Biden would remain in the race. Joe Biden is his party's nominee. He's the president of the United States. He's running for re-election. Just because they say that, these are the same people that told us that Joe Biden's sharp. The same spokespeople after that debate and after 3.5 years are the same people that are coming out saying, yeah, the guy's sharp. He knows what's going on. He's physically fit. So I don't believe anything these people tell me. Baseless conjecture from anonymous sources isn't a scoop. Tonight, a convicted felon will talk about how he'll make people's lives worse if he gains power. Let's focus. What an idiot, right? I mean, isn't that a wild thing to say? This is why nobody takes him seriously, because they come out and say stuff like that. A convicted felon. Like, dude, look at your own guy that you're chauffeuring out there. So Jonathan Carl said, I'm told Chuck Schumer had a blunt one-on-one conversation. So it wasn't just Nancy Pelosi. Again, it was also Chuck Schumer, which we already reported on yesterday. Hakeem Jeffries has expressed a similar view to Biden, according to similar a source. Jeffries' spokesman tells me the letter sent by Hakeem Jeffries to the House Democrat colleague speaks for itself. It was a private conversation that will remain private. Folks, there are reports coming out that Joe Biden is allegedly going to drop out on Sunday. There was a tweet that was thrown out there. I want to see if I can find it. It was from Jackie Heinrich. It's right here. That says, this news cycle makes me miss the simplicity of the spy balloon. She's saying that because, good morning, Joanne, because there's so many things that are coming out from so many different people that are contradictory to each other that it's almost hard to keep track. And that's why I wanted to try to spell it out. And hopefully I wasn't treating y'all like you're dumb. That wasn't my goal. My goal was just to give you kind of step-by-step of what was taking place before and during. And so here from Newswire, in caps, Biden to make major announcement in the coming days from the Hill. Now, that was being attributed to the idea that he's supposed to be dropping out on Sunday. That's what the reports are saying left and right. Andrew Bates, who is the deputy White House press secretary, I believe that's his title, who's known to lie, by the way. The dude's a chronic liar, just like his boss. He just said simply no. So we are getting things from Obama's team like, hey, I got everybody prepared, but we need to do this thing now and quickly, to the Biden campaign saying, no, it's not happening, to Jackie Heinrich of Fox News and other people coming out saying, look, this is what we're hearing from behind the scenes, that this dude's dropping out, and they're going to make it related to some sort of medical condition. So I will make sure I try to bring you guys the latest and greatest news. It's always recommended that you do follow me on Twitter so that when we're not live, you can kind of get in my thought process of what I'm seeing in the news and highlighting what I think is important. So again, if you haven't already, head over to Bald Brad 1776. I'll kind of highlight this for you. Follow me on Twitter. We are live over there, but we post stuff all the time. So you could see, like the shot, you would have saw that, all those things. So wanted to make sure I just spotlight that before we move forward. Hopefully you guys are having a good time in the live chat. We are really rumbling today. It's always funny. I try to keep Friday episodes to 30 minutes, and we always end up going over. Hopefully that's okay with you fine patriots. So here's the other report that I wanted to give you. Did I skip over this? I did skip over it. Okay. So top Dems believe Biden will decide to drop out as soon as this weekend. This is where I'm getting it from. Again, I try to bring you guys the receipts. I can't always do that because I recall a lot of reports from the past. It's just too many things to like prove to you guys. So hopefully I'm building some sort of trust with you while at the same time trying to show you guys the proof. Leading members of the Democrat Party say they believe President Joe Biden, who is facing a crisis of confidence after fumbling debate, will soon drop out. Axios said yesterday that several of these top Democrats, they divulged how they think Biden could reach the conclusion as early as basically this weekend. I'm hearing Sunday. Quote, the private message distilled to its bluntest form, top leaders of the party, his friends and key donors, remember they froze the 90 million, believe he can't win, can't change public perceptions of his age and acuity, and can't deliver congressional majorities. He can't do that because he can't change his age. I mean, which is weird, right? Because you could change your sex, allegedly, according to the Democrat Party, but all of a sudden you can't change your name, which is really a remarkable thing. You can't change your race either, according to the Democrat Party. But again, you could somehow switch between male and female, within hours or minutes. Really astonishing thing. And they can't change his acuity because his brain doesn't work. So you're kind of just left with this. By the way, none of this has changed. That's the crazy thing. Can't change public perception, his age, acuity. You couldn't change that in 2020. You couldn't change that 2 weeks ago. You couldn't change that 3 years ago when you guys were pushing this message. He's fit, he's fine, he's mentally there. All of a sudden, he's not. Isn't that a remarkable thing, you guys? In a matter of 90 minutes, all of a sudden, whoa, his age, his acuity, he's mentally off. Wow. It's amazing how they just flip on a dime as if we're idiots. Like, oh, wow, we're really going to buy into this. The thing is, folks, Democrats are buying into it. We looked at the poll yesterday. 48, let's be specific. 48% of Democrats either think Joe Biden is mentally fit to hold office or somewhat mentally fit to hold office. That's almost half the party thinks this dude could do the job after what we've seen. Another revelation was that the Axios report said that the news outlets reported increasingly hearing that high-level Biden aides conceding that it's a matter of when, not if, the president announces that he's no longer seeking a second term. So I'm expecting this weekend, they have to do it quick, and I'll tell you why. They have to do it quick because we are already more than halfway through July. That just leaves us August. The reason why I say it just leaves us August and not even the entirety of August is because they have to print these ballots. Remember, these ballots need to be printed and shipped for early voting in September. So all this stuff needs to take place. And by the way, I don't know what happens with other states and their legality on this whole thing. You could have the GOP come out and sit there and file lawsuits to where you couldn't get Biden removed from the ticket. I don't know what's going to happen with all of this. Again, there's so many different laws for different states and how they function in terms of their elections in conjunction with the whole idea of this is the nominee and Republicans could throw it up to the courts and block this whole idea of him actually dropping out in the first place. You're going to have a cluster bleep. Has things never been more insane in politics? Joe Biden sat there and debated Donald Trump. Okay. We were told for years that he's fit to hold office. He's coherent. 90 minutes later, he's not fit to hold office. People are asking him to bow out. You have that whole bleep storm of a news cycle where people are questioning Karine Jean-Pierre. Why did you say this? Why did you say he was fit to hold office? He's not. Donald Trump almost gets assassinated, pumps his fist, fight with an awesome photo. Democrats are saying it wasn't real. Now they're saying Biden's going to drop out of the race. You couldn't write this. This is like some Hollywood shit going on here. And the Democrats, oh, it's all fake. It's not real. Yeah, whatever, you psychos. I mean, they are. Not on everything. Again, I want to be clear. People go, well, Brad, you're calling Democrats psychos. Not in every aspect. When it comes to you saying that Joe Biden's sharp, that he's fine, there's nothing wrong with the guy, and then you're going to follow up and say that Donald Trump staged his own assassination, yeah, you're a psycho in that regard. And by the way, you might not be a psycho in terms of maybe your finances or maybe what you do as a career, but with that specific variable, you are a psycho. In the same way, people might call me a psycho when I'm talking about UFOs and stuff like that. And by the way, I would say, yeah, you're probably right. I enjoy ghosts. I enjoy the paranormal, the supernatural. People might go, Brad, when you're talking about those things, you sound a little psychotic. You sound a little crazy, insane. And I would agree with you. That's the thing, is I understand that third party's perspective of looking in. Some people don't have that capability of that social awareness of looking at themselves going, Maybe I sound a little insane right now. But I'm also not saying Donald Trump freaking stages assassination. These people, gone. And by the way, they're voting. They're voting. We also have pushback from his campaign. So again, they're pushing back saying he's not dropping out of the race. We don't need to go over that again, folks. But I wanted to make sure I bring you the latest and greatest news today here on the Bald Brad Show. Before we wrap things up, let me double check to make sure I'm not missing any breaking news here before we leave for the weekend. We always do go generally either live on Saturday. Sometimes we don't, but make sure you're kind of looking out. Let me comb through this really quick. How'd you guys feel about Biden's speech last night? A little bit of a tearjerker for me, I'll tell you, man. I was getting a little teary-eyed there. Biden family reportedly discussed possible exit. So let's. This is actually a live update. This just happened less than an hour ago. So here we go. This is the latest. Move that over. Members of Biden's family have discussed what an exit plan would look like. And that's big because that means they broke the inner circle of the Biden team. And what I'm trying to say is, right now, what we were hearing about a week ago, was reports from Axios, Fox News, The Hill. I mean, every outlet was covering it, really. Was the inner circle of Biden was very tight. And it was basically just Biden's family. It was Hunter Biden and Jill Biden. That's why they were having them both in the meetings most recently, because you had to get through them. They're basically protecting him. So what it sounds like right now is they've breached that inner circle. And I think they breached it by first going to Joe. Joe then went to Jill. And she said, well, if that's what the data shows, that's what the data shows. And so I think that what they're doing right now, this is really firmly what I believe. I think they're strategizing on a mental or physical or hell, just some sort of medical condition they can get this guy out of the race on. He can't just bow out. He can't be like, oh, I can't do it, right? Well, what was all this before then? You just spent the last, many, many months, heck, or a year saying that you're capable and you're in it to win it, right? When you get knocked down, you get back up, right? That whole speech. Well, what was all that before? And why did the media and the Democrat Party push forward with this? Democrats are effed. I'm not saying Donald Trump's going to win. Let's not have that thinking, okay? We got to get out to the polls. But what I'm saying is, I don't know how you clean this up. The only way I see the Democrats cleaning this up is not just unifying the party behind one individual, whether it's Kamala, Gavin, or some other nut job, but having the media. The media is going to be the key to the Democrat Party to try to bandage whatever damage they've done with Joe Biden in terms of their PR. And I think the media will get behind it. And by the way, did we not say that was going to happen? Did we not say the media was going to shift and get behind whomever? Specifically, even if it was Joe Biden, they're going to get behind the guy. It's going to happen, folks. You're going to see it in real time. And you already kind of seen it, right? With MSNBC, DNC going with Donald Trump Jr. Is your dad going to sit there and separate families from their babies and stuff? He's like, dude, it's been 48 hours. Get away from me, you clown. So you're already seeing how the media is going to act. That was kind of I think they showed their hand too soon through that. But that kind of despicable stuff is really going to come out. And you kind of see it from the party again, that they don't even think Donald Trump was really assassinated, or attempted, rather. Brian says, sorry, came in late. Had to go to Home Depot. Got a baby due in October. Oh, congratulations, man. Hey, shout out to Brian for having a baby coming in. That's awesome, man. Good for you. Inflation makes it too expensive to buy a new home. Shit, you telling me, man. Lots of remodeling done. Hey, at least you can afford the remodel, my friend. I'm over here eating beans and rice. You guys are quite literally keeping the lights on. So, with that being said, we'll round it off here and we'll end the show. A couple notable chats here. He fired the cross-dresser that stole luggage from the airport. Aaron. Dizzy said, my take, I've seen more than enough. The system has been stolen from the people, period. Yeah, that's a good take. I believe that as well. Isn't that how the cherry guy showed up? Oh my gosh, you guys are ridiculous in the chat. Kathleen, you have a great weekend as well. We'll cut it here. If there's any breaking news, I might go, throw up a video or something like that later. With that being said, folks, if you haven't already, let me check this real quick before I spotlight it. Because if that deal is still going on, I want you guys to grab it. There was a crazy deal yesterday on the book. 40% off. I don't know if it's still going. 35. So if you go to Amazon The book is 35% off. So it was 40. That's why I was telling you guys to get the deal if you could. 35% off right now on the hardcover of the book. A great gift option. Even if you're not a reader, it's a great gift option for a friend's birthday or just, a nice gift when you show up to the house or whatever. And then if you haven't already, head over to Bald Brad store. And we got a lot of merch. Nick, I'm highlighting you. Nick actually bought some merch and we were having some issues way early on when we started the store. But we got new merch here. So check that out. Good quality stuff. And with that being said, folks, thank you always so much for supporting the show. We'll be back here tomorrow and Sunday. And obviously definitely Monday, 7 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, folks. Take care of yourselves this weekend. Don't do anything stupid. Don't get arrested. And folks, I'll see you later here on The Bull Brad Show.